Welcome back. It is Monday, April 1st in the NBA. My two best bets are on the way. It is April 1st. It's April Fool's Day, and this might feel like a fool's joke given how March went. But let's introduce our favorite special guest. It hasn't been here in a while. The Broom is out a 3-0 sweep on Sunday, exactly what the doctor ordered. Let's do a victory lap and then dive into today's picks. We have LeBron James over, sweat-free. The man dropped 40. Steph Curry's over, pretty easy. He dropped 33. Brunson assists, not that easy. It's 6 for the longest time. Shout out Miles McBride for the 7th assist with about 2 or 3 minutes left in the game. A 3-0 sweep. We certainly will take that on a 4-0 run. This is kind of hopefully the kickstart of some momentum. Hopefully we can continue that on Monday and going into this week as we only have, 2 weeks left in the NBA regular season. Hopefully you guys stuck around through March with me. Hopefully we can dominate in April. Let's dive into the picks of today. I do want to note, though, I haven't even changed shirts. Yesterday was a 3-0 day. I was like, heck no, I ain't changing anything. We got the same shirt on. If we can sweep today, we're going to certainly keep the shirt going tomorrow. And I do want to note, we might add a play. The slate is honestly trash today. There's a lot of games, but a lot of games I really don't love. So I have 2 picks in this video. If I do add a play, it'll be in the pinned comment maybe later on this afternoon once we get a little bit of injury reports. And we also have a bunch of other MLB plays. While Sunday wasn't great for the MLB, normally, April is one of our best months for the MLB in terms of season long, the units we win in April. So if you want to tap into MLB, April's probably the month to do it. But without further ado, let's dive into the first pick of the day. You see which team's playing, the New Orleans Pelicans. You know a guy we've been riding with. It's our man, CJ McCollum, over 22.5 points, minus 120 on BetMGM. Now, McCollum, obviously, we've been backing him the last few games. He's delivered. Last game a little sweaty, but he has delivered, and that's all that matters. Now, as I've talked about before, McCollum has to shoot the ball. This is a Pelicans team that doesn't have a lot of scoring right now, and I think he's going to have another big game. Now, I was looking at his points plus rebounds line. It was 26.5. If you only have the choice between a 23.5 points line, I would prefer the points plus rebounds. Personally, 23.5 points is about as high as I'd go for McCollum. I don't really want to ask him to score 25 points. Obviously, we need him to get to 23, but it's worth noting in his last 5 games, he's over in 5 straight, but 2 of those games he did end with 23 points on the dot. But you see that 30, 23, 23, 25, and 24 points. His field goal attempts, though, 21, 18, 24, 24, and 23 shots. I mean, the last 3 games without McCollum or without Ingram, he shot 23 field goal attempts. I mean, if you're giving me a guy at 22.5 points line, he's nearly shooting that in just field goal attempts alone. I'm going to be hard-pressed to not back it, especially a guy that shoots a lot of threes, because if they get hot from 3, it's an easy winner. Now, as I said, Brandon Ingram is once again out, which is why we've been backing McCollum, because McCollum has a lot more opportunities to score and get hot in this game. Jose Alvarado, also his backup, is out here. And against the Phoenix Suns, I think they're going to have to score points in this matchup. I mean, we think about, and how we've been backing McCollum is the matchups. He's been facing, teams like the Celtics, teams like the Bucks, teams that give up a lot of pull-up jump shots. Well, here comes another one. Last 10 games, Suns allowed the 5th most pull-up jump shots in the NBA, and almost more importantly, allowing those guys to shoot 41% on those shots, 5th highest in the NBA over that time span. As I've talked about time and time again these last 2 days with McCollum, we normally want to back him against teams that give up a lot of pull-up jump shots, and, well, Suns walking in here, team that gives up a ton, and McCollum's attempting a ton. 10.7 per game in the last 3 games. So about 50% of his shots are pull-up jump shots. There's a reason yesterday I said, hey, I kind of like Brunson's under in points. A team, yeah, did go under in points. It's because the Thunder, a team that don't give up a lot of pull-up jump shots. So we'll look at this. I mean, this is really McCollum's game. He's going to have to get a lot of those pull-up jump shots with Yusuf Nurkic or Drew Eubanks playing a lot of drop coverage. And you think about Zion, he can do his thing, but outside of that, the rest of them are just a lot of catch-and-shoot guys. They don't trust Herb Jones. He can get into foul trouble early in this game. He's probably guarding Devin Booker or Trey Murphy. Same exact thing. The Suns really haven't been giving up a ton of catch-and-shoot opportunities. And guards that shoot the ball against Phoenix play well. 14 guards in March attempted 15 or more shots for Phoenix. 11 of 14 hit the over. Of the 3 that missed, they all had a teammate that was a guard that went over this line. So they weren't really the number 1 guy on their team. Their number 1 guy was going over this line, and they were kind of the second fiddle, still getting a lot of opportunities against the Phoenix Suns. Suns are coming off the game. They sucked defensively. I won't lie to you. They got smoked by the Thunder in that last game. I think they're better defensively, but I don't necessarily think that all the defensive focus goes on McCollum. Probably goes to Zion, doubling him when he drives. So I think that we'll see McCollum with a lot of open, maybe catch and shoot 3 opportunities from Zion driving, but also a lot of pull-up jump shots. They're not going to double CJ McCollum when he drives against, Drew Eubanks or Yusuf will be in that drop coverage. I really think CJ plays well and gets a lot of field goal attempts. These last 3 games, he's shooting below his season average, still going over. If CJ even shoots remotely close to 45%, he will go over this line. Shoots above that, he soars over this line probably by the third quarter. CJ, respect our money once again. We love you. Go dominate over 22.5 points. I like it at 23.5 too. 24.5 is out for me, but I really like CJ McCollum to dominate. I considered his points plus assists as well. I considered PRAs. It was 32.5, but I'm just going to trust CJ to put the ball in the basket. Now, my second play of the day, as I said, there is a good chance that I do add a play after the video, and if I do, be in the pinned comment. Sometimes I like to do 3 plays. If I don't find 1/3 that I don't like, that I like enough, I'm not going to add it just to say, hey, we got 3. No, I'm not going to do that. So if we go 2-0, much better than 2-1. So we'll see about an added play. I'm going to wait for those first injury report to come out, normally around like late morning, 11 a.m. Eastern. We'll see, and then I'll probably look at adding a play maybe at 1 or 2 p.m. in the afternoon. But the second play of the day in the video, Devin Booker. I'm taking his over 7.5 first quarter points, minus 138 on FanDuel. If you know me, you've been watching the videos for a while, which I certainly do appreciate it. I don't typically take a lot of juice drops. And honestly, I personally believe this line should be 8.5 at about minus 130 on the over. I think there's a full point off here. And I really like, if you're just looking for a full game line, I like Devin Booker's full game line at 25.5, 26.5 points. But in my opinion, D-Book, you kind of know what you're getting out of him out of the first quarter. If he goes out there and plays well in the first quarter, scores 8, 10 points, you're like, all right, I'm feeling good. Goes out there, scores 2 to 6 points, you're like, yeah, well, probably screwed. Why is that? We'll talk about it in a second. Now, Devin Booker is coming off 2 really, really bad games. Now, one of them was against Denver. He scored 17 points on 5 of 17 shooting. Now, I won't lie to you, Devin Booker is typically a guy that I'm looking at like Jalen Brunson. When they play really poorly, shoot bad, normally back in the next game. And I was going to do that, but that was against the Thunder. And the Thunder, as I talked about, don't give up a lot of pull-up jump shots, which is how D-Book scores. And he stunk against them. 14 points on 4 of 9 shooting. Dealt with some foul trouble in that game. And they got smoked. Now, as I've talked about, D-Book, when he's coming off bad games, I typically like to back him. And I really like this matchup against the Pelicans. And his last 5 games, though, even including that game where he scored 17 points, D-Book over this line in 4 of his last 5, scored 13, 12, 11, 10, and 4 points in the first quarter. And the biggest thing, 12 plus minutes, 15 straight games in the first quarter. So why I said you normally what you're getting out of D-Book in the first quarter is because literally about a third of his minutes are played in the first quarter. So if he scores, 2 to 4 points in the first quarter, you're like, all right, well, he's not going to come back in until about 6 or 7 minutes left in the second. He's going to have to really get going then, or else he's really got no chance at hitting a 26.5 points line. So I think you're going to need 8 minutes out of him in the first quarter, and I think this is a solid spot to back me. 12 minutes, you got the potential for the bonus at the end of the quarter, and we know D-Buck, he can get to the bonus. He can shoot 8 free throws if he really wants to, but despite a bad shooting game and scoring game against Denver, he still got it done, and he scored 10 points, which is plus 160 today, which I honestly consider just taking 10, but Booker has dominated the Pelicans in recent matchups. Back in 2022, he scored 52 points against them. I believe the game earlier this year scored 58. And in those games, he scored 12 and 25 points in the first quarter. We remember that first quarter in the 25-point one because we took Devin Booker's over that night. It was 24.5, and he hit the over in the first quarter. An electric day. Now, I don't anticipate him scoring 25 in the first quarter, but he's obviously seen something with this defense that he can obviously take advantage of. And I like him in this first quarter because typically when D-Book comes off a bad game, he tries to get things going early and often. And when you got Jonas Valanciunas out there, and I'm going to call it how it is, he's a liability defensively. There's a reason he hasn't been playing a ton of minutes. Maybe he plays more tonight against Jusuf Nurkic, but Jonas played drop coverage. He's a liability defensively. They're going to set screens, and Jonas is going to kind of hang out in the paint, and D-Book's going to get to those mid-range looks that he's where he wants to get. He's going to shoot them. Now, the Pelicans are kind of middle of pack in terms of catch and shoot threes, or not catch and shoot threes, pull up jump shots. But I mean, I don't see them doubling D-Book when he tries because you kind of trust Herb Jones or Trey Murphy defensively. And also because if you're going to double, you're going to leave Bradley Beal, Grayson Allen, or Kevin Durant wide open. That's not really the recipe for success and beating the Suns, letting the other guys get hot. The Suns typically want to let D-Book get going, and then he kind of translates into the rest of their offense to get everyone else going. So I think D-Book's going to come out here, play aggressively. Since the All-Star break, he has attempted 5 or more shots in the first quarter in 13 games. I think it's like 13 of 15 in those games when he played 12 plus minutes in all 13. He scored 8 points in 10 of 13, 9 plus points in 9 of 13, in case you're looking for the plus value. Like at the end of the day, I know people are going to have a sour taste in their mouth from the one first quarter prop I took, which was Tyrese Maxey's over. But like I said, I really think this line is mispriced. I think it should be 8.5 minus 130. I still would play 8.5 if it's like minus 110 or maybe plus value, which is what it was when I posted the picks earlier this morning. I love D-Book. I think this is a surgical one. I think there's an easy chance he scores 10 points in the first quarter, gets us in and out. I mean, if you've been watching my props recently, typically we have a great start to the first quarter, first half, and then we can, some things could just kind of fall off in the second half. So with this, we're avoiding that. We just need D-Book to come out here, score 8 points in the first quarter, score 15. I don't really care. I really like Devin Booker. First quarter points, an obscure market, but I really think this is a good line. Minus 138, a little juicy, but I really think this is mispriced. So I would take Devin Booker. I almost put 2 units on this. I even considered putting 1.38 to just lay the full thing to win 1 unit, but I'll just take my chances here with D-Book over 7.5 first quarter points. Second pick of the day. Like I said, if I add another play, it'll be down below in the pinned comment. I'm not sure, because honestly, when I look at the slate, you got games like the Hornets for Celtics. Ew. You got games like the Magic versus what they're playing the Blazers. Disgusting. Grizzlies Pistons is probably a blowout. I considered Cam Thomas over in points. I just don't. Look, it's not a lot of great slate, so I wouldn't be surprised if I don't add a play. I'll let you know by 1 p.m. at the latest if I'm going to add one or not in that pinned comment. I'm going to search for some value. If something comes up that speaks to me, sure, I'll take it, but I'm not going to force one out there on what's I believe to be not a really good slate. So I put the odds of me adding play right around 33%. 1/3. There's a 33% chance I add a play in the pinned comment. We'll see. Something might stick out to me as I look through the numbers and we get some more injury reports and news. But you guys have a wonderful Monday. Let's hopefully bring out this bad boy once again and turn that 4-0 run into a 6-0 or maybe a 7-0 run. You guys have a wonderful day. If you want to go check out our MLB best bets, it is linked somewhere on the screen. Go do that. We also have an MLB 2-leg hit parlay, which you guys love the hit parlays over there. That'll be linked. We're doing a new articles. Luckily, we were sponsored by Odds Checker to write those articles, give us a platform to do them, which we did all of last year. If you want to go check that out, I'll also put the link for the Odds Checker parlay of the day, which should be live soon, probably right when this video goes live. You guys have a great Monday. See you guys in the next one. Peace.